Yep. Absolutely.
Let's go live with the pre-stream. Here we are. Going live, going live, going live. Oh, we're live. It is
Yeah.
Yippee skippy. And it appears, quick knock on wood, it appears like the sound is actually working this week.
Yay.
Yay for sound. Yay for actually sounding halfway decent on YouTube. For those few people that might be there already, let us know if it's coming through okay. So that we know. I mean, after all, we can go with
glitch.
glitch. There you go.
Ooh, that came through much louder for me.
Well, that's because the volume was turned down on that clip.
Ah.
I turned the clip volume up.
I didn't know you could turn the volume change or like change the volume for clips individually. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's built into the little soundboard it has. What I need to do is I need to.
I'm heard. You're not, and sounds are quiet.
Can't hear me. Oh,
Nope.
You know what? Hold on, stop.
You're just not loud and obnoxious enough.
Hold on. There we go. Let's readjust my mic and see if that helps. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Check 1, 2, 3, 4.
You're not, and sounds are quiet.
Can't hear me. Oh,
Nope.
You know what? Hold on, stop.
You're just not loud and obnoxious enough.
Hold on. There we go. Let's readjust my mic and see if that helps. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I can hear me, but I'm quiet. Okay, I need to adjust my microphone input. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hello.
I'm here. Sorry.
No, I'm not talking to you. All of a sudden, I can't
Oh,
hear
okay.
anything from. Oh, it's not playing. Check 1, 2, 3, 4.
You're not, and sounds.
Hang on. I gotta get this YouTube thing to catch right up again. There we go.
You are slowly getting louder.
I'm slowly getting louder.
Yep.
All right, let's see where I'm at here. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Sorry.
No, I'm not talking to you. All of a sudden, I can't
Oh,
hear
okay.
anything from. Oh, it's not playing. Check 1, 2, 3, 4.
You're not, and sounds.
Hang on. All right. Feeding you back was really rough. Okay, let's let the YouTubes catch up with it, and so I can see what's happening here. The sound of silence. That's what that was. All right. Feeding you back was really rough. Okay, let's let the YouTubes catch up with it, and so I can see what's happening here.
Apparently, you are getting quiet again.
The sound of silence. That's what that was. I just tested it. It sounds like I'm fine.
YouTube maybe just hasn't caught up yet to the part where you're sounding better.
Yeah, well, I just heard the part where I was sounding better, so.
Oh, okay. Yes, better. All right. YouTube caught up.
Yeah, remember, YouTube's on a 30-second delay from what we're doing.
You know, I should be able to remember this every single time I think about it, but still, I don't remember immediately every time.
I want to adjust one more thing here. See if I can adjust that. Okay, talk for a second.
I am looking up at whether or not I can get rid of the feedback, and maybe it's my own headphones causing it.
One more time.
Check one, check one, check 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, because you're blowing the scale out. So.
I am?
Well, you were.
Okay.
So.
I can turn my
No.
output volume down.
I turn the output volume. Your output volume. Well, might help if your output volume was down, but I turned my output volume down from Discord because I only need your voice on Discord. I don't need anything else from Discord. So I adjusted you already.
Okay, so don't bother turning it down.
Who's duplicating?
Duplicating?
Oh, so something better. It's funny to hear you duplicating, repeating. Who's repeating? I have no idea.
Oh, it might be when you were saying something, then you were testing it.
Oh
and
yeah,
it
because
was
if I
happening all
listen
over
to it on YouTube, it picks it up and feeds it back to YouTube. I can send that into an endless fucking loop of darkness and depravity. We could go like this. Let's give it 10 seconds of silence and let me say something, and then don't say anything. We're gonna have some fun with this.
Okay.
Diving into a deep, dark depravity. Send that into an endless fucking loop of darkness and depravity. We could go like this. Let's give it 10 seconds of silence and let me say something, and then don't say anything. We're gonna have some fun with this.
Okay.
Diving into a deep, dark depravity. Send that into an endless fucking loop of darkness and depravity. It's exactly what it does. Now that'll loop for the next 10 seconds on YouTube.
Oh, this is entertaining.
Well, I get some entertainment out of this, but we sound good from what I can hear.
Yeah, it was mentioned that we are both quiet, but I have been playing with my input, and you said don't play with my input, so I put it back, so I should sound back to the way I was.
Yeah, your input should be fine, because I had to keep your input adjusted, because if you adjusted your input down, but I was just listening on the YouTubes, and we sounded good, at least in my headphones, so we're gonna run with that. It was even picking up the the sound.
33, that's a magic number.
There we go. So I made powder capsules today.
Apparently, you're still kind of quiet. I'm getting feedback from someone listening.
Hold on. The sound.
33, that's a magic number.
There we go. So I made powder capsules today. That does not sound quiet to me.
Apparently, you're still kind of quiet. I'm getting.
Yeah, we both sound. I may be a little quieter. You may be a little louder still.
Okay.
But I can't adjust it any further. I can adjust this.
All right.
Adjust that one a little bit. Go back to this. Talk for a second.
Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. 1 2 3 4.
Okay. Let's see. Talk again.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2 3 4.
Okay, we'll leave it at that and see if my volume is loud enough and your volume is loud enough. Okay, let's give it 10 seconds of silence again, and then I'll say something, you say something, and then I'll go listen. Okay, checking our volumes one final time before we hit the music. Hello?
Sorry, I was reading something.
That's enough. It's a silence again, and then I'll say something, you say something, and then I'll go listen. Okay, checking our volumes one final time before we hit the music. Hello?
Sorry, I was reading something.
Perfect, okay. They sound good. They sound good
We're
from
good.
my read on it. I think it's time for a little bit of music to carry us to showtime. Let's do this.
Don't claim to know your story, don't even have my own. In the search for glory, gone with them sacred rules of old. They went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Preacher man discovered, passed down from saint to sage, like a kind-hearted lover who's been lost on this stage. Went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Crossroads, sitting doing time. Junkie and the jigger, just seen who done the crime. Captain pulled the trigger, guess who's doing time? They went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, is he yours or is he mine? Don't claim to know your story, don't even have my own. In our search for glory, gone with them sacred rules of old. We're missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Devil's at a crossroads, joker's doing fine. Just sitting doing time.
Alrighty then. I have no idea why the music would sound like it was playing twice. There's no reason for feedback, but I guess there's still an occasional glitch here and there that we haven't found out. So to hell with it all.
Glitch, glitch, glitch.
All right. It is showtime. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever the hell you happen to be hiding out there on the globe today. Welcome back. After 2 weeks of no shows, 1 week of purposely not having it, and last week we couldn't even get the damn thing going because its audio was just so bad. I ended up rearranging my entire area as I dismantled my computer and reassembled it all to try and get the audio working and functioning again. At any rate, it's episode 570. So WordPress, you don't have to turn on the red light. Probably more appropriate last week than this week after some of the news pieces I'd seen in the last couple of weeks. But it is episode 570, and we have plugins for Woo Report, Easy Peasy Courses, archiving your status, animated counters, and ClassicPress options, all coming up on WordPress plugins from A to Z. WordPress. It's the most popular content management and website solution on the internet. And with over 80,000 plugins to choose from, how do you separate the junk from the gems? Join us for a weekly, unrehearsed conversation about the latest and greatest in WordPress plugins. This is WordPress plugins from A to Z. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be out there on the globe today. Coming to you direct from the oasis deep in the heart of the Cowichan Valley. I'm John Overall, and with me is the ever lovely
Amber overall.
And we finally have another show for you after tons of time of trying to get it off and going. And don't forget, this is a value for value show. If we had more value, maybe I'd have more money to put into our soundboards. But, you know, it is what it is, folks. We try to produce a show every week, and sometimes it just doesn't go as planned. After all, the AI is out there messing with people at an incredible rate these days. Even some of my favorite shows which play live have been plagued with sound and audio issues the last couple of weeks. So I'm certain it's the AI now, and they weren't just picking on me. All right. And that's really about all I have. So after all, I should just...
Thank you for sharing, John. Now get down from that soapbox.
Okay.
This is show number 29 for 2022. Really glad to be back for the show this week. Last week, yeah, like Dad was saying, we couldn't even get the show going. It just was not happening. So sorry we missed 2 weeks there, but you know, sometimes life just gets in the way, which it happens. It happens to all of us. Hopefully everyone is doing all right. I know that there was a major heat wave over where we were for a little while there. It's gone away again. We're back to rain. But make sure that if you have had a heat wave, make sure you take the opportunity of the cool down time before the next heat wave to drink lots of water, rehydrate yourself before you get back outside. Fingers crossed. Remember to get out and have fun. Just go out and be a kid for a while. Laughter is the best medicine for everything that could possibly be ailing you. That's it.
Alrighty.
Please, can everybody be quiet? Please be quiet. Shut up! Thank you. And now the WordPress news with John Overall.
What, Amber?
If anyone out there does jingles and would like to help us out, we need a new jingle for that, so we can change it from with John to Amber. That'd be awesome. So the first one I've got for everyone this week is WordPress Vulnerability Report for July 27th, because unfortunately I made this last week and I forgot to add in the one for this week. But this is still something that you need to have a look at. So for anyone... For anyone out there who is not updated to WordPress Core 6.1, might want to think about doing so now. 6.0 had vulnerabilities and some pretty decent bugs that were going on. Well, not decent, but bad bugs that were going on that 6.1 is fixed. And for the plugin vulnerabilities, it was a smaller list. Sorry, brain just stopped. Gotta love when that happens. So WP DB Manager was on there. I'm not sure about this week, but search WP Live and Simple Banner, WP Users Online, Flipbox, Digital Publications by Subsystic. So those are all the ones that were on the list last week. Make sure you check it out this week. There was also a WordPress theme vulnerability, grade.suite. So you want to check that out, okay? Always check these lists out every week. It updates every week. Make sure that you are taking care of your and your client sites. And then the first thing up for regular news is Automatic is removing WordPress.com features from the official WordPress mobile apps. So WordPress mobile team has announced that it will be pulling all Jetpack and WordPress.com from the official WordPress mobile apps. This will be done in a gradual process, concluding at the end of 2022. The reason for this move is, quote, for the sake of clarity and closer to core experience, the mobile team will be working to refocus the app on staple features you'd find with fresh download of WordPress. They have listed out the features being moved in a list for you to look at the link given here in the given in our show notes, which is where he's looking right now.
Yep. What are you talking about?
For the automatic WordPress features being removed, there's a list.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's all I'm saying. There's a list for people to go check out in this link.
Oh, okay.
And then we have WordPress.com ends recent pricing experiment, reverts to previous model.
guess it
The
didn't work.
pricing
I guess it didn't work.
no. The pricing experiment, they're calling it an experiment now, which I find entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
The experiment began in April and is now officially over. They're back to the initial pricing list because they had an overwhelming negative feedback from the users. Nobody was impressed.
Yeah. Surprise, surprise.
And then we have WordPress design contributors propose shipping a curated set of style variations instead of a new default theme. This might actually be a good idea. So, they're thinking about what they're thinking about doing is stepping back from a full theme development this year and instead creating a curated set of style variations from community submissions. The styles will be applied to a pared back version of 2022. They got this idea due to the amount of people using the block themes and who are using block patterns. This could also save a lot of hassle for those who don't use block themes but use the theme, need to update. So, what do you think? Think it'll save hassle if they just offer up a pared back version of 2022?
Maybe. Who knows? I didn't like the 2022 theme. I tried using it.
I didn't like it much either.
I couldn't make heads or tails of it. So I turfed it out and went back to the 2020 theme, which actually works.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem I think that they shouldn't be coming out with a whole new theme every year because by doing that, by the time they've actually fixed the theme and got it working smoothly, they're releasing a brand new one. I think they should, my personal opinion is that they should release a new one every couple of years, tops.
They used to. I mean, for the longest time, we had nothing but Kubrick. You know,
Kubrick?
that's the theme, the one site where project we're working on. That's the theme that's probably being used on that site. That's the original WordPress theme is the Kubrick theme, and that's all that there was for years. And then they started with this new themes. And for a while, the new themes were great because they sort of kept up with technology and whatnot. But pretty soon they started dumping all kinds of crap in there and making them, way too much stuff for somebody in the beginning.
Like some of the plugins that just keep adding things onto the plugin and now the plugin is useless.
Yeah, pretty much. Same sort of event.
And we have WordPress performance team proposes adding persistent object cache and full page cache to site health checks. So WordPress is looking to provide better caching recommendations for site owners in the near future. Performance team contributors are proposing 2 new site health checks, persistent object cache and full page cache. Both of these modules have been tested in the Performance Lab plugin and have received a lot of positive feedback. Team says it is ready for merging into the core, so I think we can probably expect this to come out with our next major core release.
Yep.
And then the last one I have for today, Necrobots. Scientists turn dead spiders into robots able to grip small objects.
Okay.
I just think this is freaking cool. It's also kind of creepy. What the scientists have done is they've taken dead spiders and turned them into little grippy hands for a robot arm. They're experimenting with other creatures like octopi too. Really cool, kind of creepy. Makes me think of the necromancers from so many books I've read over the years, but I just wanted to bring this up. It's cool techie stuff.
Yeah, okay. Well, maybe they can convince those robot arms to tell WordPress to stop trying to force WEP down our throats. They're gonna cram that into the core. Unfortunately, I don't have the news article. I meant to put it in here to show notes, but they're gonna cram the WEP image thing down our throat, which is gonna create all kinds of grief.
I remember reading that they were planning on putting it into the core, but they were going to make it an optional thing where you could turn it off. They're not going to go with that?
They've changed their mind again. Yeah.
All right.
So.
Borg spiders. Yeah, they are basically Borg spiders.
Borg spiders. Yeah, well, the scientists don't realize just because they can do something, they really shouldn't do it.
Oh, Hemdian says maybe they could have a new theme for each new major release of WordPress.
Well, that's what they've been doing. Well,
yeah,
that's what they've been
doing.
Well,
no, they started doing it like every year, I thought.
Well, they did do it every year, but it's been coinciding with a new major release. It's been coinciding with 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Okay.
And then for a while there, they did do, when they stayed in a couple of the major releases for more than 1 year, they'd still bring out a new theme. But almost every new theme coincided with a major release. Because the major release usually, for some reason, they have this grand idea, which is, in my opinion, stupid beyond belief. And fortunately, last Christmas, they decided not to force the major release on everyone at Christmas time. They pushed
I appreciate that.
They pushed it off till January. But for a while there, they were pushing out the major release in December. It's like, no, it's the wrong time to make a major release change, where things might break. Things
Merry
do
Christmas,
break.
developers. Now get to work.
That's pretty much what it was. Merry Christmas, developers. You thought you were going to have holidays? We've got news for you. Every one of your clients is going to call because they're going to push that update button and break their sites. And, of course, they're not going to make sales. And they're going to be screaming at you because it's all your fault. So,
Of course.
yeah. So, yeah. But, yeah, they've been doing that for a while. And who knows? Hey, Ray.
So, in the extras, we have some more WordPress stuff, like WordPress contributors consider renaming full site editing. WordPress themes directory launches new pattern reviews in beta. WordPress seeks user input on homepage and download page redesign. Yeah. So if you are interested in the sound of any of those, go to the extras in our show notes and check them out.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's talk about the value for value.
It's time to donate to WP Plugins A to Z.
Value for value means that you give, if we give you any value with our show, then you offer that value right back. You can support the show with your time, talent, or treasure. If you need an explanation on how to offer up support in any of those, you can always check out our show notes. They'll be up on the site for you. And you can. Why am I missing where the picture is?
I have no idea.
For our show art today, there we go. Now I found it. I don't know why I couldn't find it. We have Greg's graphic again, and today we have an awesome picture, which I really do love.
Yes, I liked it quite nicely.
I like the fact that our little plugin guy is the horn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's great colors. I really love this work. Thank you so much, Greg. I hope you never stop giving us art because I really love your art. It's so fun.
Thanks, Greg. We really appreciate it. And a special shout out to Greg, who reached out to me through email asking, hey, is there something wrong? Maybe my app is broke. There's no show. I said, no. We had problems.
We did.
So thanks, Greg, for checking up to making sure what was happening. And we greatly appreciate you touching base from time to time and providing this fantastic artwork so I don't have to do it. Because my artwork's not nearly as good.
We don't have any show executive producers up on the stage this week. Hopefully next week we'll get some. Executive producers are the ones coming in with $50 or more in donations. Backroom producers who are always hanging out in the lounge drinking all the coffee, they are a big part in keeping the show going. Now, you can become a backroom producer with a donation that's under $50, or you can send things into us like art or suggestions for plugins to cover. Maybe even send in a license for your own plugin so we can check it out and give you a full review. All kinds of stuff you can do to become one of the backroom producers who drink all the coffee.
It's
Oops, I hit an accident.
What was that?
I accidentally hit a button.
Yay, button!
I saw Hamdian's note that all the jingles have been loud, and I'm trying to adjust the volume of the jingles before we get to them.
Well, a big thank you to all of the producers out there. We could not do the show without you. We would be nothing at all without all the support from the producers and listeners alike.
Absolutely.
If you want to send something in to us through snail mail, you can find us at the address written down in our show notes. So, yikes. That must be for the jingle that you accidentally played.
Yep. Sorry about that. I was trying to adjust the volume and I accidentally clicked the jingle.
Well, off we go into the meat and potatoes.
Absolutely. Let's dive into it. Whoop. There we go. Hopefully that was then reasonable volume with no problems. Yes, let's get diving into it. We are diving into the depths of plugin depravity, and we don't really have anything from ClassicPress that I'm aware of. If we did
We have ClassicPress news this week.
do we? Oh, then you must read it out because I don't know anything about it.
Okay. So it looks like ClassicPress is on an upswing. It sounds like they've got some new people working on it. There are some new posts on their blog page. They're doing some good fundraising, and the new leadership has started pushing forward to get ClassicPress back on track.
Oh.
So if you want to go and help them out with their fundraising, you can check out the link in our show notes. You should also read their blog. They got some good stuff to say.
Excellent. That's good to hear. I'm glad that they're slowly moving forward again. They had a lot of momentum in the beginning, but something went sideways and they lost their momentum and they had a shakeup in their leadership. So let's see if they can get forward. It'd be kind of nice to see them come back into the fray and do something.
Yeah, I think someone grabbed the reins and is like, okay, let's go.
Yep. Well, that's the thing is as much as I want to bitch and complain about our benevolent dictator, it's the only reason that WordPress has moved forward is because of that. You've got to have a leader. I don't care what they say. There's no such thing as everything moving forward with consensus because consensus never works. It works for a very short period of time, and then pretty soon nobody's happy, and somebody has to take responsibility and take the fall for when things go bad. Because they do. They always go bad.
Just a quick note, your jingle level has been approved by Hemdian.
Excellent. Good to hear. All right. Well, let's dive into the plugins we've got this week. First up, I have WooCommerce Report. And I'm just starting to put this one to work on my site because for some reason, the Rogues Oasis has problems with WooCommerce and a few other things, and they can't seem to figure out how to give me reports. But this plugin here kicks out your sales history, your customer history, your sales tax report, which is the one big one I have to deal with because for some reason the government wants a piece of my customers' money because it's not my money. It's money I have to collect from my customers to give to them, which is really,
But of course,
really a shame. But
yeah,
at any rate, it's a really great tool. It gives you statistics, numbers, sales volume. It takes over and does much better reporting than the WooCommerce default stuff in it, which is really kind of nice. So if you're looking for something that's a good free plugin to get those reports, there's lots of premium plugins out there to do them. But if you just need some free stuff for some basic reports on things that you need, like reporting your taxes and your income and other things that you're collecting, check this one out. It is the WooCommerce Report, and I give it a 4-dragon rating.
that does sound really useful. If you're having problems on your site, there's probably a lot of people out there who are having problems with this, and this would help it.
Yeah, I just don't have time to do the diagnostics necessary to figure out what's wrong with my site because something in there is not holding correctly.
Fair enough. First one I've got is LH Archive. Excuse me.
Gag, gag, gag. LH, gag, gag, gag.
Yeah. Archived post status. Sorry about that. This is a plug-and-play style plugin designed to give you the opportunity to archive your posts and pages. Though there are settings for this plugin if you go to your settings on the left-hand menu and then go to reading. Here you can choose if archived posts can be read publicly or only by logged in users. I thought that was kind of a cool option. You can create a little title label to go beside your post once it's put into archived. The message can be the default ones stating this post or page is archived and maybe out of date, or it can also be your own creation. Like when I was testing it, I wrote, "Huzzah, I found it," because I couldn't find it first. I expect it to be somewhere else than where I initially looked. So this plugin actually works really well. Once activated, you will have the status archived added to your dropdown where you choose publish, where you can choose publish or draft. And there is an option to set a date for the archiving in an area right below the save update area. So you don't even have to think about it if this is a time sensitive post or page. Like say you write something, you know it's going to be no good information in 2 weeks. You can set the date from 2 weeks from then. And then it'll automatically archive for you, so you don't even have to remember to go back and do it. Really useful.
Very cool.
This plugin is also compatible with custom post types, which when I read up on it, seems like that's kind of been an issue where the archiving things are great, but they have issues with other ones like custom post types. So this one being compatible, very good thing. And it's free. I rate it at 5 dragons. Go and check this one out.
There we go. So did you hear it?
I heard a bit, but from what I can tell, when I barely hear it, it's at the right level for people on the show.
Yeah, that's what it seems to be. All right, next one I have for you is called Easy Courses. And it's a plugin to allow you to share and sell online courses, tutorials, lectures, and more. Now, they do have a bit of a premium version here, but it allows you to set up unlimited course creation, courses uploaded. You can set it up for free and paid classes. It integrates with WooCommerce, so make it easy for you to sell your stuff. And the Pro version adds in there forums, comments, import, export, reports, notifications, and more stuff. So this is one here if you're considering it. And nowadays, in our information technology world that we're in, money is to be made teaching people how to do stuff they should have learned when they were 9, 10, 15 years old. And
Yeah.
so this is a great way to earn a bit of an extra income. And if you build your courses out properly, you could pretty much set this up as plug and play and only answer emails for the really hideous questions you will get. I thought it was something very useful, something I'm going to be exploring, because I'm finding that even though I explain things or talk to people or show them how to do stuff, they want more information. And well, that information I have is hard earned, cost me lots of time and money to acquire myself. And if I'm going to pass it on, I want to earn a little bit back for all of my time and effort to acquire it. So I'm going to be starting to build those out over the next year or so. At any rate, something to go check out if you've got something to sell, knowledge-wise anyway. Go check this out. It's Easy Courses, and I give it a 4 dragon rating.
Very nice. I can definitely see where that would come in useful.
Yep.
And the next one I have is animated number counters. This is an interesting plugin, a lot like Jellyfish Counter Widget. I mean, honestly, I don't really get the draw of having something on your site that doesn't count anything specifically, just counts, but it seems to be a thing. Mm-hmm. Once you've chosen your template, you have over 30 to choose from in the free version. You install it, activate it, and then you get to personalize it. Now, what got me is the amount of personalization that is available in the free version. It's really quite impressive. You can choose how many items per row, color of every aspect of the counter, box shadow options. If you chose a counter with an image, you can upload your own image. You can also place in your own CSS, set up the button, numbers, icon to your own specs. You can add a description if you want. Like, the list goes on. There is so much you can do with this. It's really quite impressive. And then you just grab the short code for that template and stick it wherever you want the counter to be on your site. You can use as many counters as you want with the free version, and every single one of these counters is compatible with every page builder and every theme that I think they could list, although they just say every theme. And it's responsive, it's SEO friendly, and there's just, wow, this plugin is really quite impressive. All the things that I read on it make me think of all the things that you read on what's available in most pro versions, but they offer you like 3/4 of what they've got for the free version, which I thought was really cool. It offers everything you need to get started, and honestly, from what I was able to test out, it has everything you really need if you just want to stick with the free version. I rate this at 5 dragons.
Very cool. All right.
And that's it for today. We're only doing 2 plugins this week.
Yep.
Next week we'll be doing 3 though, so.
We'll go back to it. We'll go back to our usual thing. We were just trying to make sure everything was functioning and working. And we still don't have any current contests, but let's cover up a couple of other quick things. All right. Plugins I covered this week were WooCommerce Report, which I gave a 4 to, and then Easy Courses, which I gave a 4 to.
And the plugins I covered, why am I having such a hard time finding things in the notes today? There we go.
I have no idea.
Are LH Archived Post Status, which I rated at 5, and Animated Number Counters, which I rated at 5.
Excellent. All right. couple of quick reminders and other things before we head into the Q&A segment with Amber. All right. There is in process planning for a meetup, and it is going to happen, let's see here, the second weekend of September. So we're going to have a little meeting right now, little administrator meeting. I'd say September 10th. Yep.
September 10th?
September 10th for a meetup.
Oh, it's like a good date.
Yeah. And
It's a weekend, so.
Well, yeah, it's a weekend. It's usually, we have better than average chance of having good weather through to the second week of September. So we're gonna shoot for that. We're gonna put the meetup here. It'll be at 3:00, September 10th. Let's set this in the calendar.
Uh-oh, we've cheated our favorite listener. He says that he feels cheated because we only did 2 plugins. Oh, no.
Oh, well, you'll get over it. You'll get over it. Sometimes what we're going to do is, sometimes life gets in the way.
We'll make it up to Hendian somehow. Oh, Hendian, if you show up for the meetup, we'll make it up to you with an awesome fooding.
There you go. Get some fooding, whatever that is. All right, September 10th, 3 p.m. That gives me time to get home from the market and get all squared away, and we'll start getting that announced out. I'll go set that up on No Agenda Meetups too, so we'll have a good crossover of people again. Once upon a time, or another once upon a time. Yeah, I've been trying to make time to do this, so I figured, why not? Let's have an administrative meeting right now.
That works.
All right, meeting's adjourned.
All right. By the way, the fooding that actually comes from Zim. It's an old cartoon. And there is an episode of The Great Fooding, and it's hilarious.
Oh.
And that's why I always say fooding, because it comes from Zim.
Okay.
Invader Zim.
All right. Well, enough of that. I suggest we play our little... Oh, no, we got to split it at the part way through. All right. Let's move into the Q&A segment with Amber.
It's question and answer time.
Good, Amber.
Sorry. Just choking a little bit again.
Mm-hmm.
My allergies. So, if anyone out there has any questions they'd like to have asked here on the show, send them in to me at amber@wpbro.ca, and we will answer them to the best of our ability. See if maybe we can stump my dad.
Well, if all else fails, I'll just make it up as I go.
And when you do that, it's kind of entertaining.
Uh-huh.
So, my first question. If your site is 3 years out of date, is it possible to update the site without a rebuild?
Yes.
Okay. What kind of issues are you likely to come across by doing this rather than rebuilding the site as a whole?
It might break. All right. If it's 3 years or more out of date and you haven't updated the plugins in that period of time, you have to be very cautious about updating. One, you should know, hopefully you were the one that did it. If you're being brought in on the project later, you might not know whether or not anyone's done any custom coding to it. And then if it's that out of date and you don't know anything, you need to go check the obvious places for custom coding, such as the functions PHP file and other stuff, other areas. There's 2 or 3 spots where custom coding goes. You want to double check that. If you don't have custom coding, make sure you make a full backup of the site before you start updating. And when you start updating, update your plugins first. Bring all the plugins up to date first. If you start by updating WordPress core before you update the plugins, there's a better than average chance shit will break. It needs to go in a sequence. If you don't, I've learned, and I don't think the sequence has changed, and it hasn't in any recent things I've done. You update the plugins first, and you do them one at a time, and every time you update one, you go check to make sure all your functionality is there, so that the moment you break something, you know if it's broke. And you didn't.
And you can also tell which plugin.
And you know which plugin broke it. So update your plugins. Then once they're all up to date, then you update the WordPress core and make sure it's all still functioning. And then what will happen is several plugins will need to be updated again the moment you update the core, because plugins Unfortunately, it started a few years ago. Authors started checking the version of WordPress before they allowed an update to occur for certain plugins to function with certain new functions or newer versions of WordPress. So what will happen, you'll update your core, and all of a sudden all the plugins you updated, several of them will suddenly need updates again. And then you can go through and re-update those plugins and make sure it's all functioning. And with a little luck, everything will go smoothly and you'll get it fully up to date, functioning, and secured, and you're good to go. But there's a good chance you will find plugins that will broke or ones that suddenly won't function when you hit the WordPress update because the authors never updated that plugin. I believe that happened to you recently on updating a site.
The site is...
What's that?
Yes. If your site is at like 4.9 and you need to bring it up to 6.1, do you update it? Just go to the WordPress core and hit update, or do you need to update it in stages?
I always just bring it up to the latest version. I just make the major jump. I just make the major jump because, they're trying to get it to the latest version. I just make the major jump and I pay attention to what I've got to see if it breaks. If it breaks, I start reverting backwards.
Okay. And another question. Everything that is a guideline for how to update WordPress says turn off all of your plugins first. Does it make a difference to turn off your plugins before you update your core?
Well, it means that the core will update and everything will function, but your site will be non-functional because it's dependent on those plugins for all its functionality. And if you just update the core with the plugins turned off, well, you got to go back and turn them all on one by one to see which ones break. It's easier to just turn it on and just have it go. I mean, I've never turned off my plugins to update the core. I don't know why they'd recommend it aside from the fact that you are guaranteed it to be functioning, because WordPress core by itself is quite stable for the most part. But without the plugins, you've got no functionality.
Okie dokie. And my next question. Is there a way to tell if updating to the newest version of WordPress is not an option without updating and breaking the site first?
If you built the site and you built in specific custom coding for whatever version of WordPress it is, that's one way to tell. But no, there's no real way to tell that I can think of without updating and breaking. I've done that where I've managed to get past it on several client sites that were stuck at 4.9 because there were some plugins that hadn't advanced, and for a long time we were stuck at 4.9 until the plugins advanced or the custom coding was rewritten to deal with 5.0 and further forward, because there was major changes between 4 and 5. And so yeah, a lot of times there's no real option except to update and see what breaks. Now, the nice thing about WordPress is you can revert backwards. That's the one good thing about WordPress is it does roll back. The biggest problem of 4 to 5 is 5 adds a whole bunch of new files, and if you revert back to 4, you're stuck with those files until you go in and manually delete them.
And the last question I have is, on really hot days, should you be pointing a fan at your computer? There's a whole bunch of extra points to this. I'm just going to read them all. I know that I need to sometimes stick my phone into the freezer for a bit on super hot days because it tells me it's overheating. Will your computer do the same and tell you when it's overheating? What happens to your computer when it starts overheating? And what do you need to do when your computer is overheating?
Okay. That will be some fun technology questions, and we will cover those after we let our girl take us on out of here. So those of you listening on the regular podcast, come on over to YouTube to hear all of the answers to those questions. All right, let's let her take us on out.
Reminders for the show. All show notes can be found at wppluginsa2z.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the newsletter for more useful information delivered directly to your inbox. WP Plugins A to Z is a show that offers honest and unbiased reviews of plugins created by developers because you support the show. Help keep the show honest and unbiased by going to wppluginsa2z.com/donate and set the donation level that fits your budget. Help us make the show better for you by subscribing and reviewing the show at Stitcher Radio, Google Play, and in the iTunes Store. You can also leave us a review on our Facebook page using wppluginsa2z.com/Facebook. You can also watch the show live on YouTube, check out the screencasts and training videos, and remember to subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications of all new videos. Follow the show on Twitter at WPPluginsA2Z. John can also be reached at his website, johnoverall.com, or email him directly, john@wppro.ca. Thanks for joining us and have a great day.
Thanks for listening to the show. This show is copyright by johnoverall.com. So until next time, have yourselves a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be out there on the globe today. Alrighty. Let's dig into this question. On really hot days, should you be pointing a fan at your computer? Oh, most definitely.
Okay.
That's what I did. What I do with mine, or I still do with mine until I got myself a really good case. Because you can do this if you got a fairly lower end case, or a case that doesn't have good side fans on it. I would take off the side of my case so that it was just exposed to the air, and I'd push a fan into it on really hot days. And you do need to, because it overheats. Mm-hmm. And what happens when your computer overheats? It slows down because it can't think as fast. It can't process it fast, and if it gets too overheated, it'll actually shut down. And
so it's like all of us in the heat.
Yeah, all of us in the heat. When your computer's overheating, the best thing to do is put a fan on it. Take the side case off of it, take the side panel off the case, and then put a fan in there to add with the extra heat or extra airflow that the fans need. The other thing you can do if it's overheating a lot, shut it down and take the fan off your CPU and clean all the dirt and crap that's collected in the fins on the CPU. And especially if you've got pets, because
cat hair gets everywhere.
Cat hair collects really badly in computers. And cats love to go brush up against all the fan vents and let all their hair get sucked in there and get trapped in there on all the fins for the cooling areas. And that goes for your video card, your CPU, your power supply. Those are the three major things. The biggest thing is the power supply. If you don't keep the power supply cool, it will shut the computer down quick if the power supply is overheating. So, yeah, and that's pretty much what happens. If the fail-safes aren't working on the computer to shut it down when it overheats, it'll melt. It'll fry the motherboard, the CPUs. It'll fry all the components if the fail-safe doesn't shut it down.
You get like a message on your computer or anything, or does it just go randomly shutting down now?
Nope, it just goes randomly off. You get no message, no warning. You can be working on the most amazing project in the world. You've just spent hours designing this thing. You forgot to save an hour ago, so you're an hour into it without a save, and it shuts down. Yes, I'm talking from experience. And you've lost that amazing hour of work where you were in the zone. You've lost that.
Yep.
It's gone. You can never repeat it. I've tried. It can't be done.
That's why you save every 10 minutes when you're working on an amazing project.
Yeah, well, or you try to set up something that auto-saves when you're doing something.
Well, figure out the keyboard shortcut and just make it part of your typing.
Yeah, well, for those of you that type, I actually use 6 fingers to type.
Right, you're the weird one.
I'm the weird person, and the funny thing is I got that with my few fingers typing. I managed to get up to 40 words per minute,
which is impressive. I'll give you that.
Oh yeah, that was. I thought it was impressive to get up that speed. I'm not that fast anymore because I just don't care. But yeah, so yeah, if your computer shuts down, it shuts down. It doesn't give you a warning. The whole thing just goes black. Poof, off.
So Hemdian mentioned annual chores to clean out all dust inside desktop.
Yep.
If you have pets, you should probably make that every 3 to 6 months
Every 3
rather
to
than
6
just
months.
once a year.
I had to do it every 3 to 6 months when I had cats.
Yep. Kitties are, well, they mark everything with their fur, including your clean cups inside of your cupboards, which I still haven't figured out.
That's because their hair floats around in the air.
Yeah, but it's in a cupboard upside down, and yet somehow I still find a cat hair in the cup when I turn it right side up.
Yes.
Go figure.
Yeah, well, it's the way it works. But yeah, so the biggest thing is keeping it cool. Like for a long time, I had the last couple of cases I had for my computers, the side was never on them. I just never put the side on the computer because I needed it to always stay cool. All right, well, that's pretty much it. And don't forget, September 10th, we are going to have a meetup. So it's going to be Party
At
Central
3
at the
p.m.
Oasis. 3 p.m. at the Oasis. It will be at the Oasis once again because it is a nice party place. And who knows?
Do you need the RSVP again?
Yes, it will be RSVP because I'll need to know how many people are coming. There'll be burgers and dogs here, and who knows, maybe even if the corn is ripened up, we'll have some fresh corn on the cob right out of the garden.
I'm curious, how do people RSVP to you? Do they email you or do they sign up on the site?
They'll have to sign up on the site.
Okay.
They have to sign up on the site to RSVP for it. I'll go set
All right,
that
everyone.
up.
So go to the site and check it out and sign up.
I'll get that set up. I'll get that set up in the next day. So, because right now it's not set up in the site. So I'll get it set up and they can RSVP. And the RSVP system does work now. At least it did last time. After I had to adjust it all. All right, I think that's it. I think we have a show. We actually successfully pulled it off with minimal amount of headaches.
Hemdian said, ever since Schrodinger's cat, we've known cats are quantum. That's how cat hairs get inside closed things. You know what? I agree.
Yeah, there you
This is
go.
very true.
Absolutely. All right, a little bit of music. Carry us on out. Whoops, hang on. Adjust the volume before that gets too spiked up there.
These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. A quarter after midnight, and I'm watching the wall. Sometimes I feel so uptight, I just can't sleep at all. Every day doing the same old thing, we're losing time. The weekend comes, we gotta have some fun and rewind. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. I feel the rope tightening, choking off our air. We need to grab some lightning. Friday's almost here. Caught in a web, we need to cut this thread we're hanging by. Where is it said you have to be half dead to survive? These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still.
Alrighty, folks. That's all we've got for you now. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand.
Adios, mofo.